What's wrong?
Ladies and gentlemen, there's been another leak. Spooky Ghost has struck again. For those who don't know, Spooky Ghost is... I feel like we're giving breaking news that the World Trade Center just got hit. Ladies and gentlemen, I hate to bring you this bad news, or good news for some of you. There's been another celebrity nude scandal. People act like, oh, that's terrible. But inside, they're like making a bookmark of when they go home to check it out. It's pretty crazy, though. There's been something like 200 photos of young women who are celebrities that have been leaked in like the past week. Just everything naked, all their privacy gone. Okay, if you think about it, the number one privacy is probably the body.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we put clothes on, so clearly everyone.
But if you think about it, the biggest privacy thing after that is the brain, is your thoughts. And I just read I learned in a documentary last night that with the thing about dreams is eventually they're working on science right now to be able to pull up your dreams. They're going to be able to use your dreams.
For what?
To study them. That's something they're starting to do research on. I sound like such a weird hippie right now.
I think, though, dreams are... There's something behind dreams. Because even if you go back in time, there's always these books or literature that talk about if you dream this, it means this.
Yeah, there's always weird things about I remember one time I dreamt about black ravens in a parking lot that were like swooping down. And it was so weird, and I told my my Filipino friend Krista, shout out to Krista, shout out to the Philippines. And she was like, "Oh, you've been struggling with something."
Really?
And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "You need to go read about that." And I went and looked, and it was said that if you have black ravens swooping down in your dreams and like at you, it means that you're struggling with something, like you're trying to resist something you really want to do.
Interesting.
And what was weird, that was when I was in nursing school and doing music. So it was like I was resisting music and I was just doing nursing, which I hated. And it was just like,
No, that's why I think that in all this I think it's just been passed from generation to generation. I think we're onto something, but I think when we can really track everything, we can really see what we are currently struggling with. Because maybe when we're sleeping, we're recharging the battery, the body's at rest, but I think the mind maybe starts processing things. It's almost like rendering.
That's what they say a lot of times when you're dreaming. A lot of time is to distract you while your brain is doing all this filing, and
It's almost like what is it? Back in the day, we had screensavers, so it wouldn't freeze your computer.
Yeah, it really is. And it's weird that with dreams, I actually learned last night, I was watching this documentary on dreams. It was saying that most of our dreams involve anger and depression. Like, people are mostly sad or angry, or no, they're either angry or scared in their dreams.
I was going to say scared has to be a big one, isn't it?
Yeah, everybody always has that weird dream. That's why I feel like if they study my dreams, they might get some weird shit. They're like, okay, he was running through a pool of marshmallows, getting chased by pillows that turned into ducks, and then they start saying his name. You ever had dreams like that?
Well, the recent dream that I had was Saturday night before my try last week. So funny because I during the day Saturday, I went to go pick up my packet, and I got to see the course layout in the swimming area.
Do you walk in like it's a competition? Like you're kind of
Oh yeah, I put
really?
my had my headphones on, my glasses. I don't talk to anyone.
You know what you should do? You should just look online for an Olympic warm-up suit. Like just says Olympics like 2000. When was the last Olympics? 12 or 10? I think it was 10, right?
14.
No.
2016 is the next one, right?
Oh, so it was 2012.
Yeah.
Was the last Olympics. You should just look for a 2012 Olympic like warm-up suit and just wear it everywhere you go and just psych everyone out thinking you're just crazy Olympian. And they'll be like, "Hey, what did you do?" And you'll be like, "I can't talk about
I can't.
it." So go on, you walk in with your headphones on.
Yeah, so that night I go to bed and I actually got a really good night's rest, but I do remember that for some reason, I think that night I was downstairs at the hotel bar lounge area, and clearly I'm not there to drink. I'm there with my water bottle, just writing down my thoughts on paper. And I'm flipping through my Instagram, and it was funny. I saw a picture because that's when a lot of the college games were going on, football. So it's really funny because this girl has a ponytail, and on it there's a little alligator toy on it, but upside down. And the caption was, "Kill the Gators, Florida Gators."
Okay.
So I thought it was pretty funny as far
Did
as
you like
the
it?
rivalry. What?
You liked it?
What? Oh yeah, of course I liked it.
Double tap.
So, but the funny thing is that triggered alligators. I never really realized how afraid I am of alligators or crocodiles. Till that night, I wake up and I realized that for some reason, as I'm
There's an alligator.
swimming in the harbor in my race, there's a freaking alligator.
Wow.
And out of the 500-600 people swimming, for some reason it kept on chasing me, but it wouldn't bite me and it wouldn't do anything, but it just was hovering around me, and it obviously scared the hell out of me. But I think that and snakes are two of the animals that I always have dreams of whenever I think I'm preparing for something, and it's almost that nervousness that comes in as far as mentally preparing for something, going into something a little bit high emotional. I always have a dream of either an alligator or a snake.
Weird.
And the funny thing is, it's almost like one of those things that you're trying to run away or swim away or
You
do
can't
something.
move.
And it's like a struggled movement.
Yeah.
But your mind is capable of processing things and thinking things, but for some reason the body doesn't coordinate.
While you're in the dream, you can't.
Yeah.
I hate that. That's where it hurt worse when you're trying to run and you're like jumping, like and you can't go forward.
Yeah, I've always woke up frustrated
Yeah.
because it's almost like, what the hell? But I don't know if it's maybe something deep down inside that I'm scared that I'm not going to perform to my best. So that sort of correlates with me struggling. I don't know. And maybe the animal is a fear of me not performing up to par.
See, I think that if you were to look into that and try to Google what it means to dream about snakes, there's probably going to be a lot of religious things that come up about the
Serpents.
the devil and everything, and that you're like you'll start.
Maybe I've
thinking,
always been running away from the devil.
It's not a bad life to run from the devil. That sounds like a song. And I'm running from the devil in you, baby. I gotta leave. Yeah.
Yeah.
Copyright real quick. Yeah, I feel. I wonder how much is true though about what you're dreaming about. I think it probably comes from the Eastern land, where
Horoscopes and all those things.
they're really good at breaking down things. And I think there's something that's different with like Asia, China, everything is that they take more time to interpret things, and they actually sit down and they think more. I feel like I wish I could quote it right now. There was he's one of the most, I want to say Matsuyu. He was one of the most profound what would you call him? Not a prophet, but like a
Philosopher.
philosophizer. And he did war strategy. His war strategy was always to find a non-violent way to do things and to win battles without, like his goal was never to kill, but he would just find the best ways to win battles. And he was going to be he was going to change the world. He was Gandhi. He was the one who was going to do it. And he would just think all day. Like that was his thing, that he would sit down for days on days on days just thinking about things. I feel like with my ADD, I couldn't just sit there and think for more than 20 minutes. You start going crazy. To do that for weeks and months and years. And the crazy thing about him is, of course, when someone's trying to do something good and something pure, it gets ruined. And it got ruined, and you can barely find stuff on him now because it was Emperor China who actually ended up naming China after himself. Felt like there was, this war strategist was starting to, going to start a revolution, and people were starting to follow him in a more peaceful way and learning. They burnt all the books, all the scrolls, everything he ever taught to get rid of that kind of thinking. And I got so sidetracked. But what I'm saying is that I think, olden style, olden time in China and everything, they were able to take something like it's more broad. Like when you say, oh, I dreamt of a bear chasing me. Well, it's probably like they put in this category, if a bear, a mountain lion, a tiger, a crocodile, an alligator, a snake, something aggressive and violent chases you, it's probably just a broad term that you're afraid of something, that you're worried about something. And then if it's something like crows swooping down on you or ants trying to bite you, something more pesky, it's probably more of a sign of you're being bothered by something. Something's kind of in the back of your mind. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I guess another question is, how do we correlate these animals with those types of situations? Or do you think, I think the perfect one was ants nipping at you. It's like a pesky type thing. What about another animal or do you think everyone tends to use ants? Or do you think that other animals will pop up?
Someone could be, I don't know, bees. A swarm of bees, like
just hovering around you.
Yeah, it's the same thing when they say a really common one is when you have a dream of being naked somewhere. You went to school and you realize you had no clothes on. They always link that to a fear, like an insecurity, instead of like a fear of losing or something like like that. It's more of a fear of being embarrassed, and that there's also the same thing is having dreams of your teeth falling out. Is a sign of an insecurity or like a fear, like
really?
Like more of an embarrassment thing.
What if you have a dream of like on purpose walking out naked?
I don't know. That's probably a lot different. That's probably like a really confident dream. I wonder if that's happened. It's had to have happened. Someone's like, they wake up and then they just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going without my clothes today. I'm going to school.
This time I'm not going to end up naked without me not knowing about it.
I'm going to do it in my dream before.
Have you ever had a dream that you felt like you started to realize what was about to happen, so you tried to reverse it, but for some reason it never reversed? It played out the way that it always plays out, but you still had that conscious...
Like a reoccurring dream?
Yeah, I've had several times that I'll be put in the same situation that I'm always in a dream, but I would realize it, catch it, and I feel like I started to have control going, I know what's about to happen, but for some reason, no matter how much I try to consciously rewrite my dream, it always plays out the same way.
Weird. Yeah, now that I think about it, I have had dreams where you kind of just know, like, for example, I think I've had one where I knew a guy was going to try to, hurt my family or something. But I don't know how I knew, but I just knew it was going to happen. So the whole dream is me trying to find this guy, and I'm trying to do this and that. And I don't know how it ended, but you have a weird feeling. You can't explain it. You just know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I've had that before. Fuck, I just forgot what I was gonna say. It had to do with that, with the dreams though. Oh, I've had it. The craziest thing, I had a dream when I was a kid that it was like this Western town and everything was Western. And as I was walking around the town, people started changing into these green, like alien creatures with goo.
Really?
And the more they started changing, the more nauseous I started feeling. And I'll never forget it. I had to climb. I was just trying to get away from them because as these people were turning into aliens, I just started feeling more sick and everything. I climbed up like up the side of one of the houses or like a town hall, like the main street in a Western movie. I got on top of this pole and I'm hanging on, and all of a sudden I look to my left and there's one of the green aliens right next to me. And I got so sick I started throwing up in a dream. I wake up and I'm throwing up.
Really?
I was sleeping on, I think it was like Matthew's floor. I was throwing up on the floor.
Really?
So I don't know if because I was sick, I don't know if it, because I ended up being sick, if it was because of that dream that I felt nauseous, or if my body was feeling nauseous and it started going over into my dream.
Yeah.
Just like when you've had sounds that wake you up, but you can hear them in your dream before you wake up. Like, have you ever had that where you start hearing like a, and then, you wake up and someone's vacuuming? And you're just like, oh, it's crazy though.
No, I think that dreams are very powerful. Me personally, I don't ever remember dreams.
Really?
Once in a great while. And again, I feel like the times that I do remember and I can capture most of the dream is when I'm getting ready for something. So again, going back to my try, it was really fresh because my mental state of mind was very strong. I was well rested, that I feel like I was a little bit more in tune. But a lot of other times I feel like very minuscule dreams that don't really mean much to me. And I'll wake up and I'll remember bits and pieces, but then to recall it at the end of the day, I can't.
Well, your brain releases a fluid, a chemical that is supposed to make you forget your dreams. Because
Really?
yeah, it's supposed
Almost like, what's the Men in Black?
Yeah, neuralizer.
Yeah.
It really is it's just meant to make you forget it. And it's supposed to be a protection mechanism. Because, dude, some of the crazy ass dreams I've had.
Traumatic, you think?
Yeah. And then they just start slipping away. That's what's weird is as soon as you wake up, you're like, holy shit, that was insane. And then you remember that feeling that you had from the dream. And like, if I see you 6 hours after I did it and I'm like, dude, I had the most insane dream. And then as I start trying to tell you about it, I'm forgetting it. And I'm like, and I'm realizing that moment, you're like, oh shit. And then I went into this like, how people try to explain dreams, like, and they were saying how crazy it was, but it's so vague. They're just like, man, I just, but I don't know why some dreams last and some dreams don't,
Well, do you think the ones that do last, as far as being able to retell it, are the ones that are the most significant ones that you can maybe, it's a sign to tell you to, in our case right now, you can Google it and find out a little bit more about it, like the crows? And do you think the ones that we tend to forget about it are ones that it's almost like that slippery slope of your mind perceiving it as being a little too edgy, a little too traumatic, that it's better to erase it?
I don't know. See, that's the thing, is that it goes back to the Eastern thing of, I just don't think that our culture has studied dreams enough to see the significance of them. I think on the hierarchy, they're not as important as, other forms of, science that we use on studying the body and everything. I just don't think we look into dreams enough and their significance. But I'm sure it has a lot to do with, I'm sure there's a dream doctor out there, a dream scientist, a little voodoo doctor.
We should look into that.
Do you want to do it? You want to be dream doctors?
No, I want to talk to one.
That'd be really good, actually. That sounds like a Dos Leos blog.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to a dream doctor.
Because I think that since I have that dream of either running away from an alligator or a snake.
There's a fortune teller right down the street.
Is it really?
Yeah. She'll tell your future and everything.
Is she legit?
I don't know. She got a little place. I don't know if she's doing good. I don't know how business is.
I think we should try to look up each other's most profound dreams and share it. See what it means.
I'm gonna come on here and I'm gonna be like, well, ladies and gentlemen, Matt is gay. Brought to my attention, the alligator is the gayest creature of them all. And if it's chasing you in a triathlon, oh boy, bring the towels for this one. Oh man, that's funny. Dude, you should come up with an alligator skin one of these.
Yeah, I want to do a cheetah print one. I don't know.
Oh, those fit girls are gonna go crazy for that.
Yeah.
Ugh. Talk about cornering a market. Ladies and gentlemen, the podcast is also brought to you by M80 Roller Flames.
It's not burning you?
No,
Okay.
special powers.
You know why?
Why?
Because it's M80 patented grooves.
Ooh, what do those do?
Ooh. Okay. First of all, 5mm thick patented material on an industrial grade pipe.
Pipe thick.
Guarantees firmness, not only for a year, 2
Always
years,
hard.
actually a lifetime. Waterproof.
Really? Whoa. You just went from a year, 2 years to a lifetime.
No, I said it's gonna last. Not only a year, only 2 years, but it's gonna last you a lifetime.
I thought you said it'll last a year, 2 years. No, it's going to last you a lifetime.
Just throwing crap out there.
Do you do infomercial like, if you call now, you'll get 20 of these for the price of half of one?
I'll go broke by then.
Do you do anything in the center of this? Because it's very shiny in here.
You know, everyone always says that. No, we just clean it out, but a lot of people don't realize how shiny it is. The reason why it's shiny though, it's coated with a resin that is meant to preserve the pipe. Because this pipe actually, do you know what this pipe is?
PVC?
ABS. It's a type of PVC. It's a different molecule component, but it's very, very strong and it's meant for underground. This is sewage piping.
Yeah.
So basically your poop and your urine runs through there.
This podcast is over, ladies and gentlemen.
But the reason why it's so strong is because, again, you have...
Recycled piping. M80 Roller doesn't waste anything.
We don't reuse these pipes. These are actually brand new pipe that don't have any
What's that
waste
faint
product.
Well, that's you, ladies and gentlemen.
But the reason why I chose it was because how strong it is. I mean, if you really realize it, this pipe is meant to be underground and prevent any type of erosion. So it's going to last.
I've been wanting to do it, and I don't know if I would just feel like a snob, but I've been wanting to bring it to the gym. And they have rollers there, but I want to bring it there because I always use their shitty one, and it doesn't get
a lot of people that have the M80 rollers always bring it to their gyms.
Really?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be weird for me to bring? I feel like it'd be like I'm bringing in my own weights.
Yeah, no, you're good. Because the thing
of course, you're saying that. You're the owner and operator. Well, you're good. Everybody brings their M80 roller, even at lunch.
The reason why I say that is because are you going to settle with shitty or are you going to do something that's beyond?
You're always so blunt with how the last ending note, try it out. At the very least, you'll get taller. Yeah.
Worst case scenario, you're gonna enjoy the experience.
Worst case scenario, you're gonna have a lot of sex by using M80 roller. That's what we're getting at, ladies and gentlemen. You get a better body.
I don't say it's gonna increase libido, but
you might as well. Everything says it does that now.
It will help with circulation of the blood, which I guess indirectly.
Dude, and that's the thing is. That's what's crazy when people see those not vitamins but prescriptions for
ED.
Yeah, for people who don't know what ED is
not explosive diarrhea.
Explosive diarrhea, which prescriptions for erectile dysfunction could cause explosive diarrhea.
Can it really?
Yeah, man. The amount of side effects that prescription medication, especially the ones that are...
Can you put it up?
Huh.
The list of the side effects?
Yeah, I can do it right here. Boom, real quick.
Just have it scrolling down.
Scrolling down while we're talking.
Jeez.
Jeez, you're really asking a lot of me for my video editing. Now make a dragon fly behind it. Flames.
Can you make me levitate a little?
Yo, take the seat off. The list of it. That's why they say it so fast. If you start to have a heart failure, blah 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 blah, it may cause sweating.
If you die, it's not our fault.
Yeah, pretty much. And they can say something so broad like that. Oh, what does this pill do? Oh, well, it does help with circulation. Oh, so you're saying that helping with circulation can increase blood flow to the penis, correct?
Or private area. I mean, girls have to have blood flow down there too.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that when they're marketing these performance enhancing drugs, sexual performance enhancing drugs, not PEDs, they grab so much different stuff that they say in theory will help. You know, A points to B's and B points to C, so A to C, you know, works. And
I say just start exercising and your libido and blood flow will naturally increase.
Yeah.
Because if you really look at it, not to stereotype, but people that are more sedentary, people that eat like crap, and people that don't exercise don't really have a lot of sex or don't have the desire to have sex if you really look at it. Why is it that their main focus is, you know, either TV or any type of sedentary activity, and they don't really have that mind crossover to sexual pleasure because there's really no need to satisfy that?
That's what's crazy about the comfort zone, is it's dangerous, because eventually if you comfort zone starts out as a jacuzzi at first. You're in the jacuzzi and you're just like,
that feels good.
All of a sudden, mud's in there.
Can you make us look like we're in a jacuzzi?
Let me see what I can do, ladies and gentlemen. Can he do it? We'll see. I don't even know yet. We'll see. Hot cocoa.
Yeah, no.
It starts off as a jacuzzi and then it turns into a swamp. By the end of it, you're stuck.
Quicksand?
Yeah, you're stuck in it. You can't get out of it. And I think it turns into that. I think people aren't happy. They aren't happy in that comfort zone of, you know, sedentary. Dude, why can't I talk anymore? Ever since we started doing a podcast, I've exposed my lack of communication skills.
Maybe that's a fear of something.
My lack of social skills? Fear of the dictionary. That's what that is. Fear of grammar. What were we talking about?
The comfort zone.
Yeah, people, you get accustomed to it, and then it becomes this like a little bubble, and it's safe, but it gets depressing after a while because you're just stagnant.
But then you get caught up in that revolving door. That if you want to make a move, you make a move, and it only lasts for a couple of days, and then you jump back in there.
Yeah, because if you're in a swamp, you're in quicksand, you're trying to get out, you're getting closer,
and you get dragged back in.
You just can't do it. That's why you just gotta fucking Tarzan that shit and grab a vine above you, and you just gotta go straight up. There's no going sideways. You just gotta climb out of there.
But again, if you don't have strength to pull yourself out, you're not gonna get out.
That's why I think if people are stuck, man, we are talking such deep metaphor right now.
Oh yeah, right now I'm in quicksand and I'm visualizing myself getting my ass out of there.
But that's the thing. If you're just like a mouse that's stuck in one of those sticky mouse traps, it's got to fight like its life depends on it to get out of it. Because if you don't have that strength and you're stuck in that swamp, you have to search within. Like those little ladies, those little moms that you hear stories of them throwing 200-pound mountain lions across the forest who are trying to attack their kid. That strength has to come from within. It's got to become violent. You got to get so like with every.
I think it's passion.
Yeah,
you know,
you have to get that adrenaline going, and you just have to commit to change. You have to really. I sound like I'm selling a diet. like formula, like Shakeology or something online right now. You have to have the passion and the will to change your life for the better. Don't start tomorrow. Start today and start now.
And
Order
if you call
here.
within 30 seconds.
Yeah. But that's really what it is when you're really stuck. Like, it can't be like, all right, I'm going to get out of here. Like, if you're going to change something in your life, it's got to be a fucking real change. You got to just commit to it. You got to say no more, and you got to close it, you know? Always stop.
No, I agree. And that's why I truly do believe that there's the people that pull themselves out of it. There's the types of people that need someone to help them pull themselves out of it, or the people that just don't want to get themselves out of it.
Oh, I didn't even realize what this was. We're gonna have to put this picture up on the podcast. Jimmy just sent that to us.
Nice. Great product shot.
Jimmy, our good buddy. Man, what timing? Because we
I
shouted
know,
him
right?
out in the last one. Jimmy's got a fucking watch on us right now.
Hashtag Jimmy.
Hashtag Jimmy. He sent a picture of his baby with an M80 roller. Put it up right here. If it's not already there.
I love that blue camo.
Yeah,
It
it's
pops.
so hot right now.
It is. Definitely a trending color.
Really?
Yeah. The great part, too, is since he's Navy affiliated, the blue camo fits the Navy.
Ooh.
Strategic.
What size was that in the picture?
15. So the baby's a little bit bigger than the roller, right?
That's a long baby.
Yeah, that is.
His baby was big.
Was
It
it?
was something like 27 pounds.
You know, the crazy part about it is going through my Facebook, constantly seeing Jimmy's baby and Nellie's baby. It's almost like...
Back and forth, right? I'm like, you guys trying to outdo each other with baby pictures?
No, the crazy part about it is it still takes me a little bit time to register that they both have a kid. Literally, I feel like they're almost the same age.
I think they planned that shit.
Yeah.
I think Nelly and Jimmy's fiance were like,
I'm having the first baby. No, I'm having the first baby.
yeah, and then they just went at it.
No, I'm happy for them. That's neat. I give them credit. I can't have a baby right now.
Well, you're a man.
I guess that's the... I guess that's a big part of it.
It is a pretty big part of it. Yeah. No, I feel like everybody's getting married and everybody's having kids.
You know what I say to them?
Fuck that.
Fucking, I'm getting myself out of the quicksand. That's the baby maker.
No, yeah. I'm more like everybody else is getting married and having kids, and I'm just over here trying to make rap music, you know? That's what
I sort of
like.
feel immature because I'm not ready for that.
I'm immature as shit. I went to Disneyland, and I'm seeing all these parents with their kids, and I'm like, the fuck all these kids doing here? Getting in the way. I'm like, I'm trying to get turkey leg. Like, move.
I'm trying to get into Indiana Jones. Get out of my way.
I'm like knocking over little kids. I'm like, Mickey! Mickey! It's me! Did you get my tweet? You know?
Oh, jeez.
And I had that realization. I was like, man, I'm definitely not ready right now to have a kid. I just feel like there's so much
That you want to try to live?
Yeah, and I think it just wouldn't be fair for me to have a kid right now.
I think that's the difference. Is not to say that I'm into myself that much, but I feel like I want to...
That much?
Well, part of it is I am into myself because I wouldn't be doing the things that I would be doing, and sort of preventing having a relationship and letting it get into something a little bit more serious. But I need for myself to accomplish certain things in order to, I think, let myself settle down.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we just picked different things to do. Like, if I had a regular job and it was just 9 to 5, something like that, I think I'd be ready for a kid. I mean, what else am I gonna do? Because it's either that it's such a weird. It's not black and white on having kids and having a family, because at the same time when I'm saying I don't want to have kids, all I care about in my family's first,
Yeah.
my parents, my brother, my sister, everybody, my family's first to me. And it's just like, with how committed I am to my family, and I train my sister a few days a week. I still work for my dad when he needs help, and it's that I'm already willing to make a sacrifice for them at the drop of a hat. I can't afford, with what I'm trying to do with music and everything and videos, I can't afford to have a baby, because the way my mentality is, I'm going to dedicate everything to the baby. Like, my life's done.
Correct.
That's how I feel, is once I have a kid, my life is done. I'm now secondary. My main priority is just to find a way to provide for that baby by any means necessary. No more, I'm trying to get self-fulfilled and I'm trying to explore the world and everything like that. No, I'm going to have to go on YouTube for that now.
No, I feel you on that. I view that being a good parent is putting your life on hold.
Well, that's what my dad did. My dad had amazing job set up. He could have been retired now in just a perfect job, retirement, whatever, making buttloads of money. But instead, he didn't want to be away from the family because he was working out of town. He didn't want to be away from the family a week at a time, come home on the weekend, gone for another week, back, gone for 2 weeks, back for a weekend. He didn't want to do that. So he literally quit that perfect job. Everybody said he was crazy. And he was working for the government and started his own business just so he could be home. And then, he worked construction, and then he started even coaching.
Yeah.
He started coaching. People don't know, my dad started coaching because we left the swim team. And he basically just said, well, how hard can it be? I'll just start my own swim team here. And people who don't know, AVA started with just us 4 kids in my family. Oh, and another family.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then it grew into this conglomerate. And
now it was massive.
Now it's like a cult. Like, when people still see people from old AVA, they throw up a little AVA sign or something. But yeah, I think that's why I might be inclined to have that kind of thing, is that I guess I grew up being taught that family's first, and when you have kids, your job is to put that next generation farther along.
I think that's my ultimate goal too, is to wake up with my kids, almost like cook breakfast, prepare meals, send them off to school, do my own thing, pick them up from school, or take them to whatever sports. I think that would be the ultimate fulfillment in my life, is to be able to be there. And like what you said about your dad, is not constantly be away from my kids or be away from my wife or whatever because of my job. Yeah. I want to have that freedom that I can be there 24/7 if I have to, or not, at least have that freedom to be there for my kids. And it's pretty funny because I feel like I end up putting myself first, then my wife, because I want to be there for my kids.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I would be that stay-at-home dad, and I would enjoy the heck out of it.
Difficulties. Let's give it a round for technical difficulties. That was the first one. Really? We do this shit ourselves. We don't have a fucking studio. We just have about only 10 people working for us right now.
Keep it down, guys.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. Ladies and gentlemen, the podcast is also brought to you by evanlopez.com. I wish mine was a product that I just could be like,
excuse me.
Really? That's what you're going to do during my commercial? I have all these
I just puked in my mouth.
I heard evanlopez.com and I suddenly just puked in my mouth a little bit.
No, I think yours is has a little bit more depth into it.
I'll try to save it now. I started this new thing. I'll put a link right down there. I've never done that. Just a heads up. I've never done that when I say a link right here. There's usually never a link.
Really?
It's rare that I'll be like, a link right here. But I'll put a link in the YouTube description, maybe. For a short video I did, the Lake Moreno one. I want to get more into doing that. I think it's fun to try to put music and to do kind of like a quick short film of music. I made everything in that Lake Moreno video, everything from scratch. There's no samples, nothing. Like, that's all me. And I shot it all on my phone. But I want to start doing those.
That whole video footage was on your phone?
All my phone.
Really?
Yeah. I want to talk to Samsung. I actually been trying to email them.
Really?
To try to get them to send me the Note, because it's got even a better camera. And I'll tell them I'll do documentaries with it and everything. You know? Because I was surprised from that video. It's really high quality.
Yeah, it's not bad.
For a camera phone. I did the same thing with Disneyland. And I've been working on the music for it. It takes fucking forever. It's more intricate. Because I'm trying to match the music up with all the different rides. Like, you know, for Indiana Jones, I'm trying to get a lot of like ethnic drums and everything. And then Haunted Mansion, I'm trying to make it sound creepier. And then Space Mountain, all intense. And then Pirates, make it sound like Pirates of the Caribbean without a copyright issue.
Yeah.
So I have to make up my own pirate style music. But yeah, evanlopez.com if you want to get some instrumental music for your documentary. If you want me to edit footage for you. If you want me to shoot and edit footage and put music on the documentary for you, I can do that too.
Just hire him.
I can put fire behind you like right now.
It's getting a little hot in her.
Dude, for the people who are listening to just the audio, and to the people probably watching, if I end up not putting...
We're on drugs.
Yeah. A lot of drugs, ladies and gentlemen. All those pharmaceuticals we were talking shit about, we're on all of them.
They keep sending us samples.
Yeah. We're actually sponsored by Western Medicine. Man. Going back to that, I feel like we shit on pharmaceutical companies all the time, but I feel like it's the right thing to do. I feel like we're part of the revolution of you know, a freedom America. We're part of ISIS is what we're getting at. No, we probably shouldn't.
I don't think we should.
We shouldn't even joke about that. Ladies and gentlemen, that was 100% a joke.
Yeah. That's actually a pretty good segment to tap into.
ISIS
Islamic
is crazy.
State.
Every time I don't watch the news, but every time I go to the gym, all I see is that they're beheading another person. And then that makes me go and want to read more about it, because I feel like it's pretty intense what's happening.
I think even Al Qaeda is emailing them, going, "Hey guys, you guys got to calm it down a little bit."
Well, that's what they said, that you're generating too much attention.
Yeah.
But it's crazy to me that they're using social media. They have Facebook accounts.
No, it's smart. It's free.
I wonder.
You can build a huge following.
Like, does ISIS like people's pictures? Because I would be like, whoa, if ISIS like...
I know, what do you do? Can you tell them to unlike it?
Yeah, like if ISIS just put LOL on my status. Like, LOL. Like, they really are. People who
follow me if you...
Yeah. Hey, shout out to camels. Thanks for always walking around. Something stupid. If people don't know, ISIS... Who is ISIS? ISIS is a terrorist group posing as a governing body.
Yeah.
In Iraq.
They're pretty much, ever since we started pull out our troops.
Pull out troops.
They took advantage of that and they started taking over.
Well, I think it was only a matter of time. ISIS was Al Qaeda Iraq. That's actually what they went by, is Al Qaeda Iraq in obviously Iraq, and they literally were waiting. They're like, what? That's the thing, is I think sometimes a fault of the government, our government, is we're not world police. We're not. We don't have the funds. We don't have the stability. Because if you look at it, it's like we're paying someone else's rent while we're can't even afford our own rent. We're in so much in debt. I think if we really want to truly help the world, we need to get shit here.
Squared away.
Yeah, because it's not squared away. We need to deal with, we want to talk about criminal acts. We need to deal with people who are doing EBT fraud, welfare fraud, insurance fraud.
Well, have you heard the latest, the tax fraud, the $1 billion that's been happening since 2008 is during tax season, there's these underground companies that generate false or fraud social security numbers. And what's been happening is these people are using these fake social security numbers and creating tax returns and literally getting about $3,000 to $4,000 in tax returns
for every
mailed
person
to the freaking same address, thousands of checks. That it's just mind-boggling how our system has not even been able to come up with a simple algorithm or some sort of software that goes, wait a minute, why do we keep sending checks to the same address? And there's actually a 60-minute clip on that one of my clients sent me. And it's been happening since 2008, and it's still happening. That's and then crazy. Police have been indirectly tapping into this because if they stop them for whatever driving violation, they'll find in their car checks upon checks. And the funny thing is...
Why would you leave it in your car?
Well, the funny thing about it is now the whole tax situation, so they'll send you either a check or they'll deposit into your checking account. And then the third one is they'll send you a preloaded debit card or a credit card. So they'll find these stacks of credit cards with $3,000-$4,000 in it, and these people are using them.
That's crazy.
But imagine how many billions of dollars that they're causing the IRS, and then where are they going to be able to take that from? Other people.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think...
Well, the government prints money. That's the thing, is that's why the dollar value in the world is going down, because we keep printing the money, the less value it is, because we need it. The government just does it. We borrow money from China. China pretty much owns us right now. I think we went to war with China, though. If they tried to strong arm us, I think we would still take China.
We could.
They got more people in their army, in their military, than we have civilians.
Yeah, but we have the technology.
We fuck them up.
We would never go to war, though, just because
all our stuff
money-wise.
is made from China.
Yeah, money-wise.
Everything except the M80 roller made here, American soil.
The biggest difference is they're smart enough also not to go up against us, because without the United States, they're also in deep doo-doo. It's almost that whole, we scratch their back, they scratch our back, and we would never tap into anything political because of that reason.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, they forecast that we all help each other out. So
yeah, that's the thing, is that it's so, when you really think about it, that we fight with other people on different parts of the rock. Like Earth is a rock. We're flying through space at millions of miles per hour. It's crazy when you start putting these lines in the ground of who can have what, and because if you think about it, back in the kingdoms, it was just a certain king would rule a certain land, and then you go to war with the other ones just based off of who owns that land. It's the same shit with countries now. And the problem that the U.S. is having, we're overextending all the time. Well, something's bound to happen, and it's not going to be good. Because we're so overextended and so into everybody else's problems and trying to police the world. It's the way that Rome died. It came crashing down from within. And that's why I think with all the shit going on with fraud and all these different things that happen, welfare, EBT, insurance, tax returns. But the thing is, the government still makes money the tax write-offs, even if they're losses from EBT, welfare, and everything like that. So while it's, what would be the word for it? Deteriorating, hollowing out the bones of our social order, they're still making money from it. Like they're literally sucking the blood from the foundation of the country. But those who are currently in power and who are running it are making money. They're putting it in their own pockets, so they're not too worried about it because, hey, they're going to make it out of here.
Mm-hmm.
But what's going to happen then? The next generation of kids, it could be horrible or it could be great. I always have this fantasy that something's going to happen and all student loan debt and everything's just going to go away. It's just going to go like there was back in the Western days. Back when the only records that a bank had of debt was written.
Oh.
There were actually written down the debts, and there was a bandit who, I forgot what his name was, but he kind of had a Robin Hood-esque kind of style.
Yeah.
He would burn down banks. He would rob them, but then he would go through and he would burn all the debt of all the farmers and everything that they owed the bank. So then people would, they get rid of thousands, and which back then thousands of dollars of debt was
a lot,
huge. So he would just burn it just so people could live better, and they would, I wish something like that would happen with student loans. God damn it, Matt. And I feel like really with the way people can just fucking generate social security numbers, and that's what's crazy. While the government's out policing the world and doing everything like that, there's a kid who's been playing Final Fantasy and Warcraft and Call of Duty, all these crazy games, who's smart as shit, is getting into hacking, and he's just spending his day figuring out how to do shit. And there's some white knight out there, some good, guy out there who's trying to figure out, he's working on it right now to get rid of student loan. There has to be, right?
Yeah, hands down. It's almost, there's a challenge of trying to be rebellious.
Because if I could do it, if I could find the means to abolish student loans, I'd do it.
I'm down to like $1,500 left on my student loan.
Ooh, not me. I'm not seeing that number anytime soon. $1,500, huh?
Yeah, I've been aggressively paying it off since 2009.
Well, that's good for you, Matt. Some of
just
us
being a good citizen here, that's all.
Some of us are still in the prime of our slavery. The master ain't selling me anytime soon. I'll tell you that much. And that's really what it is. We put ourselves in slavery with student loans. Because they promise you the American dream. They promise you a great job and everything after that. But a lot of times you don't want that great job. You don't want to sit in a cubicle and make the money and then just live in the system. I watched the movie Jobs about Steve Jobs.
How was that with Ashton Kutcher?
Ashton Kutcher sucks a dick, man. I didn't think he was that good in it. He was
Everyone always kept on talking about that. He wasn't that great.
That's why I didn't watch it for a long time, was I just couldn't buy it. But there was a weird mannerism thing I think he was trying to pull off.
Really?
But and maybe it was one of those subtle things that someone who was close to Steve Jobs told him about, because I'm sure he did his research on how to act, his mannerisms.
Correct.
But he was trying to do this little thing that came off to me as annoying. Like this weird little like...
Really?
Yeah, so it was just kind of this thing he was trying out. And maybe it was how Steve Jobs really was. But it didn't just translate over good to the screen, I guess. I sound like such a snob saying that. Translate over to the screen. But there was a quote. The movie ended... with Steve Jobs at the beginning of the Apple revolution, when Apple took over. And he had this thing about the people who are crazy enough to think that they could change the world are the ones that do. And he talked leading up to that ending quote, talked about how we're born into a system that we think we have to live within the system. But really, with imagination, you can live however you want. You don't have to live in a system that's in place. You can change it, and you have the power to change everything about it. And I think the way student loans and the way jobs and corporate America, once again, shout out to corporate America, it's set up for you to live in a system that's already in place, but we're not meant for that. We conform to that, you know? Mm-hmm. That's what happens, is that no one just wakes up and they're like, yeah, like, I want to go sit in a cubicle. No one sits there like, I love my job, you know, just typing. It's just that we conform. And one of the reasons that we conform, it's not like a personality. It's not a choice you make. It's life demand that you have to do, because you have all this student loan. If you have a kid, if you know you got bills to pay, no matter what you're doing, you end up usually just getting stuck.
Yeah, a lot of pressure.
Yeah. And that's always a big one, is that you kind of have from 18 to maybe 24, 25 maybe. People give you that leeway. When you're 20, no one is looking at you like, are you going to join the workforce? Are you going to do this?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? But as you start getting older, you start feeling that pressure of, you know, everybody kind of looking at you different, and they're just like, why haven't you gotten order yet? Why have you, still trying to do your own thing?
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge one. I think that's one of the biggest ones, is that it's the book Stopping 3 Feet from Gold. Have I said that story on here?
No.
It's from the book. You need to take it home with you today. Get Rich or Die Trying.
We're like Oprah. We're going to give all of you guys a book.
Everybody look under your seats right now.
Good luck.
Yeah. I said Get Rich or Die Trying, the 50 Cent. Shout out to my dog. Anyway, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It's a book about spiritual perseverance, and there's a story in it. It's a compilation of different stories about perseverance. And one of them is about a group of people that went, I don't know it's kind of like oil. They, when they like plunge it out of the ground, you know, those, you start getting down towards Valencia area, you start seeing whatever they're doing.
It always reminds me of dinosaurs.
I always thought grasshoppers, but I didn't want to say it right now.
Ones that just go up and down.
Yeah, but there are these machines that do that with gold.
Really?
So these people, they went to this place in, I don't forget where it was, Colorado, something. They invest all this money into these machines, find this, and they call them gold, the veins. You hit a vein.
Okay.
And then you start getting the gold. Well, this guy had a map of where it all was. So they went there, they spent all this money, they were plunging, they were going here and there and everything. They couldn't find this vein of gold that was supposedly there, where it's like an underwater river.
Yeah.
Just has gold in it. And so they keep trying, and they keep losing all this money. And finally, the guy in charge says, you know what, I quit. I'm not wasting any more money on this. Takes all the equipment. I'm going to salvage everything I lost. Takes the equipment to a junkyard. The guy says, yeah, I'll buy it from you. The junkyard guy. And the guy says, he gives him the map. He says, I was trying to do this, but, it was a waste of time. The guy has the map. The guy deciphers the map. Those people, exactly where they were digging, they stopped 3 feet from gold.
Shit.
Of where they were going. So the junkyard owner took the machines back, went 3 feet deeper, and found all the gold. He's now a millionaire, and he owns one of the biggest companies in America now because of this. So that's the saying, is stopping 3 feet from gold. A lot of times I think that's what it is with life, is that when you're starting, I'm 26 now. I'm not a spry little 19-year-old kid.
Yeah, you're old.
Yeah, I'm a grown-ass man. You're getting old when you kind of take a little offense to that. When people say that. It's not a joke anymore. It's just like... and you have to try your hardest to play it off like, I don't care. No. People probably, when they have these dreams and these goals, when they start hitting a certain age, they stop 3 feet from gold, I feel like. I feel like that's a big thing of... you kind of just cash it in. You're like,
I think everyone does that.
yeah.
Because I guess that's the difference between, people setting off to do something and people cutting it short, or always saying, I tried, and then I failed. How many times do you think that you look back at something and go, I wish I would have went 3 feet more? So I think that if you have a passion for what you do and you're not afraid of the unknown, or you're not afraid of failing, go another 3 feet, go another 6 feet. Worst thing that you're gonna take from all this is, it's all about hard work. It's all about tapping into something deeper than who you are. Yeah. And you really don't know till no one has a set map to let you know where the veins of success are. So it's up to you to write this map. And I think that that's what life experience is creating this map of knowing where your limits and where your boundaries are. And what I've gotten from my life map so far is that there are no limits. Therefore, you just keep digging, because everything is experience, and you will always gain something from that.
Yeah. And I think life's short. It's so short. Really, what are you gonna... There's no reason not to try to go for things, because it's such a superficial thing to have embarrassment and to really care what people think. Because in 100 years, most of the people alive now are going to be dead. It's going to be very insignificant. The small things.
Yeah, it's very true.
And I think everybody should live their life however they want to live it while they're here, because as far as we know, we have one shot. We have one time doing this. And
what are your thoughts with the mentality? Because it's really funny that, you and I share very common goals, very common disciplines, and we both don't drink a lot. And when I say drink a lot is, again, we don't take a day to go out with friends and drink and, get hammered or whatever. We have too many things on our mind that we're trying to achieve that we can't let something hinder our performance the next day. That it's funny, every time I'm driving somewhere, if I'm listening to the radio, they're always talking about, Friday, we're all gonna, release our week and, tap into something that's fun, and we need to do this, we need to do that, or that. I find it funny because it's almost like I don't feel like I have to, have a party to release my prisoner state of mind that I was locked up from Monday to Friday at my workplace or this or that. I go into it knowing that I have to work 7 days a week, but I've tapped into a state of mind that I'm fine with it. I am doing something that I enjoy. I get a lot of satisfaction from it. That it's just funny because I feel like it goes back to what we were talking about, is being trapped and being pressured to be in the state of mind that then you have to go out Friday night or Saturday night and take your life into drinking or doing something to alter that state of mind so that you can get this pleasure of controlling that now it's my time.
I think that mentality, it sucks, because I know a lot of people like that, man, who when they want to hang out, they always say, yeah, man, I'm coming into town, let's get drunk. And I'm just like, I don't want to do that. I can't, And then, of course, people always get pissed at me when I say I don't want to drink.
Yeah.
But it's weird, and I think it comes down to passion, because even if someone worked 5 days a week and they were building something of their own, which they're proud of, and that, they were really passionate about, and they were personally invested in, I think they wouldn't want to drink. They would be so focused on what they're doing that they wouldn't want to go out and get drunk and every weekend and stuff like that. And I mean, it's true. I think it's important to relieve yourself, to have balance with not just all work. But I think drinking's a big one. And I really feel like drinking is going to start going away.
You think so?
Yeah. I feel like marijuana's on the rise. It really...
They're talking about New Mexico is the next state that's going to legalize.
Really? And I think it's on the rise for good reasons. There's so many medical benefits of it. There's 0 deaths. There is not much in this world that you can say has 0 deaths. Can't say about any heart medication, any erectile dysfunction medication, any cigarettes. That's what I think heart disease is the number 1 killer, and then cigarettes. But cigarettes lead to heart failure and everything. I guess what I'm getting at is that there doesn't need to be, when you use alcohol, I think, to escape, you're trying to forget things. You're trying to numb certain things. You're trying to mask something. That's why I've always, whenever I've seen friends, and I've gone through this too, man. There was times when I would just get drunk all the time, just blackout drunk. Just that was the goal, was whatever. Because I guess at that moment, nothing else matters. When you're getting drunk, you're not worried about what you're doing at all.
It's that liquid courage. You literally feel like you're someone different.
Yeah. And I think, I've had friends, I've done it, where you see a weird intention. They're too into wanting to get drunk. Like, they get there and they're like, woo, woo, woo. And you could tell they're trying to run from something a lot of times. And, you see it at parties where one friend gets there and she's like, I want to have fun tonight. Woo! Going crazy. An hour later, she's drunk, crying on the ground, just so upset her friends can't calm her down. And then she's crying over a guy. She's crying over her life. Whatever it is, it's not good. And I think it all relates to doing something you don't want to do, that you're not passionate about, and needing that escape. But then again, I don't know, that's just my perspective on it, because there's a lot of people who are doing what they want to do that love getting drunk all the time. There's a lot of writers that he's one of the most famous writers there are, crazy out there. I forget his name, but he would get so wasted. There's a lot of people who function really good drunk when they're doing something creative like that. Blows me away. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, me neither.
I'll get drunk and want to eat hot wings or something, some jalapeno poppers. But there's a lot of people who use drugs as tools to create things. Like people who do like paintings, like on acid and everything, do some crazy shit. You always see it. You go to the store, you see like some crazy distorted painting. Like, that dude was on some shit.
I think that yeah, I can see that happening with the creative artsy side of you, is using hallucination drugs or that type of altering of a mind. I don't think alcohol really can do anything for you that creative. I think most of the time people use alcohol is just to mask something or run away from something. That's why I know that if I'm in an emotional state of mind, or I do recall that I'm having a hard time, I know from experience that I'm not going to drink, because it always leads into something bad.
Yeah.
So anytime that I'm going to get, drunk with friends or drink with friends, I know that I have to be in a good state of mind to enjoy that and not be that person lying down, crying, having a meltdown.
Yeah. It's too common, man, that really happens. That's why I really do think alcohol's on the way out. I think we go through phases of life and I think we're kind of, maybe not, man. Maybe the roots are too deep with money.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I think alcohol has completely shifted in my life. Now I use craft beers as a form of just tasting, experiencing, but I won't have more than a beer or two at one sitting.
You know what's crazy is that a lot of business owners, those crazy CEOs who are up for 14 hours a day working, I've heard that they do a lot of cocaine sometimes. Some people
It's
use
very
cocaine
common.
to as an
Keep you
upper
up.
to do a lot of work. A lot of people, a lot of video editors do Adderall
Oh, to keep them focused.
because it's supposed to keep you focused and everything. I've never used it for video editing. I feel like when you start doing that, it's a slippery slope. When you
Because
start,
you could get addicted, I feel like.
yeah, and there's so many side effects of Adderall and all those different any kind of prescription. There's I guess a way to say it. There's no medical free lunch. There's always a bounce back of something. You're gonna pay the consequences in some form. And a lot of times people talk about Adderall, the drop. There's a fall off at the end where you're just a zombie, And there's a lot of people show signs of depression, suicidal thoughts, and everything like that. So I feel like there's too many things that people are making money off that have too many negative side effects. When it comes to medication and when it comes to alcohol. You ever seen those side by side pictures of people, of twins? One went on to keep smoking. There's always weird pictures like that where like one has been drinking for 30 years, the other twin hasn't ever drank, and they look night and day. One looks like 15 times younger or 15 years younger.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And I mean, some people don't care. They'd say, we're all gonna die.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We just sound like a couple alcohol haters just talking shit.
I think the priority is the key question. So, like, for example, me, I run 2 businesses. I do triathlons on the side.
Just on the side.
I focus on my family. So with that, I don't have time really to have something slow me down. And alcohol would slow me down.
Yeah.
Because then that means that I have to recover the next day, which I don't have time to recover the next day.
I think it's reward. Reward versus. See, I can't even say reward. Did you hear that? Reward versus. It wouldn't be risk. But loss, reward.
Yeah. No, it's true. Because
I'm talking.
I've learned the hard way that if you drink, the next day you pay the price. Even if you don't drink a lot, you're going to be a little bit dehydrated. And with my sport, a lot of it is endurance. That I'll be doing at least an hour to 2 hours worth of exercise at one time. That you can't have something like dehydration be part of the equation, or else you're going to really struggle.
Do you go in a sauna at all?
No, I don't have access to one.
How do you not have access to one? Aren't you big time?
Yeah, I have one at home.
I go in the sauna. There's been a lot of things coming up about its recovery, how it really can help. It helps with blood circulation, and which I guess it helps with erectile dysfunction too, if you think about it. Circulation. It's starting to help big time with people's recovery, heating up your blood and everything like that.
Really?
That's a big thing. There's a process called regenokine, where they actually take your blood out. They take it out and they spin it in a machine and it heats it up. They get it to a crazy temperature. The blood actually turns into a white liquid, and it's like an insane healing property.
Really?
And then they inject it right back into your body, and it helps with inflammation. It can cure back problems.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a really big thing that they started in Germany, and you're starting to see places out here that do it. There's one in Santa Monica. So that's why I had thought, I said, well, if that's the process of regenokine, is heating up the blood to make, this elixir that's like the nectar of the gods, maybe the sauna is a scaled down version of that because it's, heating up your body, sweating, and the toxins. You're getting out toxins. So
Yeah, you always feel good afterwards.
yeah. Now that it's starting to cool off, I'm starting to want to go back to the sauna because before I couldn't. I felt weird it being 110 outside and then going and sitting in a sauna. I'm like, I'll just go fucking stand outside. Like, I don't have the extra water to give away,
Just sit inside your car with the windows up.
Let's talk about your... Matt did another triathlon. Ladies and gentlemen, he's been popping them out like hotcakes.
Yep. Actually, look at this.
Oh,
Look at this.
he was ready. He's like, when is Evan going to ask
know,
me
right?
about my triathlon? Whoa.
Yeah,
look
I
at
actually
that medal.
participated in Tri-Rock, which is the same company that does the rock and roll marathons.
Is that a Hunger Games medal?
Yeah, pretty much I had to kill people. One of the few finishers.
Wow, that's an insane medal.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty heavy. You feel it.
I feel like I'm on Good Morning America right now, and I'm like talking to like the new young Olympian. All right, we're here with gymnast Natalia. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, this is legitly about 3 pounds. Finisher.
Yeah, actually, this time I finished second in my age group, 25 to 29, out of, I think it was like 47 or 49 people.
Wow.
So it was actually pretty decent. I actually did very, very well. It was an Olympic distance, so it was 1 mile swim, 22 bike, 6 run.
Wow.
And 2 hours and 13 minutes, which was, I was actually pretty stoked with it. Yeah, so it was a fun course, downtown San Diego, right behind the convention center. That's where we swam in the harbor. We biked, most of the bike was actually inside one of the naval bases, which was really cool. And then the run was just downtown San Diego.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was there any alligator problems?
Not this time.
No? Dude, now you're gonna be thinking about it next time you're swimming. Thinking about the alligators. What was the name of this triathlon?
Tri-Rock.
Wow. You a little hungry there?
Yeah, I think I'm...
We need to get the podcast sponsored by food. We got
Anyone.
samples. Yeah, anyone, if you have food, Quest Nutrition. If you want to send us some Quest protein chips, we'll eat them. Actually, probably chips wouldn't be good to eat during the podcast. Just crunching in people's ears. We actually got samples of Iron Lion soap.
Yeah, I was able to purchase some. They included some samples of all the different...
Man, you're not supposed to say you purchased them, because then it sounds like we're in talks with Sony or some shit. PlayStation. Wow, that's a real rumble. This is ruining the podcast. We have some Iron Lion soap. We're going to try it out, and if we like the product, we're going to reach out to them to become a real official sponsor of the podcast.
Smell good.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 10. We just broke into double digits.
I feel good.
That's pretty good. 10 episodes. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Dos Leos podcast brought to you by
M80 Roller.
Evan Lopez.
Peace.
Good night.
In the Middle East.